Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening to each and every one of you out there in Facebook land, LinkedIn land, as well as YouTube and all of the other social platforms of Uncensored Conversation with Elevated Not Tolerated. I am your hostess and with all the mostest, that's me, Victoria Holland, CEO of Victoria Elevates. We are super, super excited to have this amazing young lady on our show tonight. We've been waiting patiently to have her with us because guess what, guys? You know, when you're doing the business, sometimes you just can't get people on the show because they're that busy. They're that amazing. And we're super excited to have this young lady with us tonight. So tonight's guest is the CEO, owner, founder. She does it all to make your taste buds just go crazy. And she puts those extra pounds on this old girl over here. My guest tonight is the phenomenal Kristy Redd of Kristy's. Hi, Kristy.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. It's my pleasure to have you with us tonight. So many people have been asking me, about you. And so to have you on the show is such an honor. Because we try to, on Uncensored, we try to make sure the conversation is lively and we want to bring great talent to the people's attention. They may not know that you're out there. And what better person to do but my beautiful oldest daughter, y'all. Yeah, you heard it. That's my baby right there. So look, Kristy, I give out a disclaimer on the show. And because you are an ultimate entrepreneur and business owner, we're going to do you the same way. So guys, if you're sitting out there and you see something that you absolutely love about tonight's show, and you think that we're going to give you some prices, not happening. Because of her phenomenal business, she will be she is available for consultations and all of those wonderful things. And so if you desire to meet with her after this show, you've got to listen to everything she tells you about how to reach out to her. But you also got to know that we do not allow our guests to quote prices on the show. So Kristy, your mama ain't gonna let them, you can't quote no prices. As pretty as she may be, she is an ultimate businesswoman and she is an extraordinary young lady, and yeah, she's my baby, so I can say all the nice things I want to about her. So most of you, if you're looking, Kristy's been she's been doing this for quite some time, and so we're honored to have her on the show tonight so we can talk about it. Kristy, what's it like? How you doing? How's it feel to be on your mom's show? I know that's one of the questions I'm going to get later. What's it like being on your mom's show?
It's nerve-wracking if you're not a talker. It's something I've always admired about you is that you're very much a people person. You can walk into a room and have a conversation, and you're just a bubbly personality, and you love to talk and just engage with people. And so I'm a little bit more shy than that. But yeah, I'm here. I'm excited. I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity to talk about my business and tell you guys about what I've been doing. And I'm grateful to my mom. She's always posting. A lot of the clients I've gotten have been because she has shared so much and people have reached out. The Shirley Caesar cake was because of her post. Somebody saw it. So wow. Thank you to my mom. So I appreciate the support. I really do.
It is my pleasure. We've got some great people out there watching on tonight. Monica Estevez, Ruben Austin, birthday boy. He missed getting his birthday cake, Chris. So we got to fix Ruben back up. Dr. Claire Peters is with us tonight. And all of you wonderful people out there, go out there and tell somebody that, yeah. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining. Go out there and tell somebody to join us on tonight because this is going to be a sweet, tasty treat interview. And I don't want you to miss one moment of it. So Kristy, tell the people the official name of your business and what your specialty is.
My business is Kristy's, and my tagline is food with passion and food with heart. What I do is I bake. I create sweet treats. I've always liked being in the kitchen. I've always liked cooking, and then just in between jobs, I started getting on YouTube and just discovering the art of baking bread and just it just escalated from there. So I sell sweet treats for your birthdays, engagement parties, getting into a lot of people asking for wedding cakes now. So I do wedding cakes with a consultation.
Yes.
So yeah, I bake all day, all day, some days, all day, every day, some weeks. So yeah, I'm a baker.
You are a baker. So I know that, of course, I know a lot about you, but the people are very interested across the globe when we're talking to people that either started their business during the middle of a pandemic as well as before. But a lot of times the pandemic actually brought people to another level. Would you say that the pandemic pushed you further into the business, or was it just your passion and you were just waiting for the opportunity?
Both. I feel like, a lot of times we're trying to make money to pay bills or whatever else. So a lot of times we put our passion on the back burner. So COVID was actually an opportunity. I was just playing around in the kitchen and I had a friend who had asked for a strawberry crunch cake. And I said, let me figure out how to make this. And I just started doing some research, and it's like, I'm not going to sell somebody some box cake. I'm going to do it from scratch. I've always liked baking from scratch. And I just happened to post just something on Instagram that I had been playing with. And what the blessing really was that the first person, hi Michelle, if you happen to see this, who actually brought my first cake, I met her at that job that I was doing at that time. And God led me to talk to her as I was checking her out at the register. I normally, I'm friendly with people, but to engage in a conversation, I'm shy. And I just happened to start talking to her about her hair. And we started following one another on social media. And she was actually the first person to see that strawberry crunch cake with cheesecake in the middle. And she ordered, I believe, about two cakes at one time.
Wow.
And it spiraled from there to the point where I was at that time making about the same thing I would have been making had I gone back to work when they offered us to go back. And I said, if I'm going to be making the same thing, I'd rather be working for myself. So I made the executive decision to work for myself. And it's actually just spun. I won't say out of control, because it's definitely not out of control. It's a good thing, but it's actually have grown bigger than I probably ever would have imagined. If you would have told me that I would have 3,000 TikTok followers and 14,000 likes on that TikTok app, I would have thought you were crazy. So really, it was a passion I had put on the back burner, and just kind of here and there, if somebody asked me for something or I just wanted to play in the kitchen, I would. But COVID really sparked, okay, I got all this extra time. Somebody wants to know if I can make this kind of cake. Let me not just hop in the kitchen. What else am I doing? And it just grew from there. So.
Wow. So many of you might not know this, but all of her tasty treats are, when she says no box, the only box you're going to get is the box that she sits the cake in to deliver it to you. She makes everything pretty much from scratch. I think the only thing might be, what do you call it? Some of your toppers that you don't do, like what is it? One of my favorites. Okay, so I'm telling all the secrets. One of my favorites is the ones where you put in the alcohol on top of it. Yeah, guys, if y'all are into seeing strategic moves on a cake, she places these bottles of I'm going to say drinks, if you will, to our guests out there who some of y'all don't like bourbon and all that. But she sits these bottles in strategic ways on the toppings of the cake. Now, I don't know about you, but I mean, I look at some of these things and I'm just absolutely amazed. So, so she puts all these creative ideas together, but her cakes are strategically from scratch. I mean, when I tell you her kitchen smells like the bakery across the road that you've been waiting to not go in because you're going to gain 6 pounds, that's what you smell when you're walking into her kitchen. So Kristy, the creativity of the designs that you do in the cake. I know you talk about the strawberry crunch cake, and we're going to get back into that a little bit more, because that is your signature cake, is it not?
Those two
are your signature cakes. Right.
Yeah.
So what I know, but I want the people to know what it's like to be an entrepreneur at your young age, because people have asked me in the past, did you teach her how to do that? let me just say this for the record. Heck to the no, no, no. I am not the I am the tester. I am not the baker. She didn't get that from my mama, y'all. Not at all. But Kristy, the people sometimes are interested in how do you come up with these unique designs? Don't give away all your secrets of how you design it. But when you're thinking of a cake, if I call you and I say, Kristy, she made my elephant cake for my birthday. Kristy, when I want an elephant sitting on top of my cake. How does your mind start working to develop something that you've not seen, but you create out of your mind? How does that happen?
Self-taught baker. So everything that I do that you see has been me studying people that I admire, whether it be on YouTube or whatever the case may be. So it's a lot of practice, it's a lot of trial and error, it's a lot of I'll finish something and it'll be in the fridge and I'll wake up at midnight like I can't give that to somebody, and I'll wake up and there's nothing probably wrong with it. It's just me being a perfectionist. But my thought process a lot of times is I study a lot. I'm an early riser. So a lot of times I'm up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and you have nothing but time. I think Steve Harvey was the one that says a successful person doesn't sleep for 8 hours. I understand that. I'm not quite where I want to be, but I'm getting there because I don't sleep. So a lot of times I'll research. There's a lot of amazing cake designers out there, and I'll see things that may not technically be on my level yet, or I can do that, but I might want to put my own twist on it. So a lot of times it's a lot of drawing, and I can't draw. So it's what I see in my head, and I'll doodle a lot of times to kind of figure out how can I make that my own and something that I can do. Or I've tried that method before and it doesn't work for me, so let me play around. And then a lot of times too, I'll ask the customer. Some customers come to me with inspiration picks, and I always let people know, I don't duplicate any other artist's work 100%, but I will use it as inspiration. So I'll take that picture and I'll be like, okay, can I make those elephant ears out of fondant? And a lot of times I'll people use stencils and things like that. A lot of times I just, cut it out by hand. So yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error, especially when you're teaching yourself. A lot of times I just draw. I draw a lot of the stuff I want to do. I'm up a lot of hours, really just thinking and studying other people's work. I did go to culinary school, but I was more so on the entry level, the serve safe, how to be sanitary and things like that. But as far as the decorating portion of it, I'm not taught that. I pretty much taught myself. So in doing that, a lot of times you have to create your own strategy for getting to the final product. And you have to not be afraid to do it again or to challenge yourself. Or like I said, there's been plenty of times, the Shirley Caesar cake that you all saw the pictures of, that was not the first or second take on that cake. I actually woke up, I think at 2 or 3 in the morning because I couldn't sleep because something I had done. So I don't like the way those letters look. And I got up and I rolled out gold fondant at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was stamping out stars, redoing it. So a lot of it is just being able to be honest with yourself and know what areas that you need improvement on, and not being afraid to ask somebody for help that may be in the same field, or dedicating the time to research. The internet is just full of so much information. There's so much information out there. There's really no excuse to not be able, if you have a dream or something you want to pursue, something that you want to get into, right, there's really no excuse to not get there, if that makes sense. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. There's a lot of times when I'm working on a project and I have to step away and sometimes shed some tears, and looking at other creators, I found that is normal. It's because you care. It's because you have passion about what you do. If you didn't care, you wouldn't dedicate so many hours to it. Right. So yeah, the creative process is just a lot of different things, a lot of patience, a lot of giving yourself grace a lot of times, and that can be hard to do.
So let me ask you this: Do you actually have? I know a lot of people ask me a lot of times, and again, for those of you that are watching by means, we do not. Let me say that again: we do not encourage our guests to share prices on our show, but for you to reach out to them. And I'm trying to pull a couple of your pictures up here, Kristy. But we do encourage you to actually reach out to her. We put her link into the chat room earlier on this evening. So we're going to ask you if you're interested in reaching out to her to please do so and let her know that, you are interested in getting one of those tasty treats. So Kristy, let me ask you this. If because we're talking about entrepreneurs and we're talking about people that, at any other given time would have chose to stay, like you said, in the middle of the pandemic, you could have went back to your job, but you said, no, this is what I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at it. I'm going to go ahead and take a leap of faith. A lot of entrepreneurs, especially around your age group, they don't want to do that. They're fearful of what may happen. So if you had to say what actually motivates you to not stop in the middle of everything else, what motivates you not to stop fulfilling your passion?
As hard as some days can be, because it is difficult when you're not, we're trying to start up a business. At the end of the day, what I do gives me peace. And I'll share this because it might help or bless somebody else.
Yes.
I struggle with anxiety, severe anxiety and depression. And so I've been in management since my early 20s. I've been working since I was 15, but I've been in management since my early 20s. Mm-hmm. So it's always been, how can I make the money? How can I got to be doing this and I got to be doing that. But when I'm in that kitchen and I'm creating something, I might be a little odd because I get excited the night before and I'm like, I get to get up and bake something. It's my peace. So at the end of the day, when I feel like I just can't do this anymore, I'm like, it's my peace. And then some of the emails and DMs and phone calls and text messages that I have gotten just saying, hey, you really made my child's day with that birthday cake, or you went above and beyond my expectation with how that cake looked and how it tasted. It's knowing that I have a purpose. My purpose looks different from somebody else's purpose. But at the end of the day, I do have a purpose, and my purpose just happens to bring me peace. So I encourage anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur. It has its risks. I mean, especially when you're starting up, really in any industry, but if you do any research and starting up anything in the food industry, the first couple of years, you lose more money than you make. You have to be willing to trust God in that time, in that season, and it's difficult. I'm saying it today and tomorrow, I may need to call one of my other entrepreneur friends or talk to my mom. Okay, I don't know, baby, the math ain't math, and I don't know if I can do this. No, but so you have to be able to acknowledge how you feel and push past that, because at the end of the day, it's your peace. It's what brings you joy. Life is too short to just do something that you're not happy doing, and I refuse to get up every day not being happy doing what I'm doing. If I'm going to struggle, I'm going to struggle doing what I want to do, not working for someone else. And that's not everybody's dream or everybody's focus. Do what's best for you. But as for me, I enjoy my peace. I enjoy being up at 4:30 in the morning in the silence and in the darkness of sun hasn't even rose yet. Right. And I'm up listening to Luther Vandross, cream and butter and sugar together. And it's my place of peace. Right. So yeah, do what makes you happy, no matter what anybody else tells you, no matter what anybody else thinks you should feel or do at that age. Do what brings you happiness and what brings you peace.
That's good. That's good. And one of the things, the Uncensored Conversation, as well as Elevated Not Tolerated, pushes is fulfilling your self-worth. And you are just telling us tonight that how important your passion brings about your true self-worth, because a lot of times people don't understand it. When you like you said, you just came out publicly and you said, I've gone through some moments of depression and anxiety, but finding my peace and finding that place that keeps me together is doing what I enjoy the most, and that's my cakes. Look, y'all, I'm telling y'all, the cakes are off the bit. That's the reason why I gained 50 pounds pulling with this child. Now maybe not 50, but but to hear you tell people, especially young entrepreneurs, that your peace is in your passion. A lot of times when we are going through, hey Bernice, thanks for joining. When we hear young entrepreneurs in 22 talking about their peace, a lot of times people don't understand that it's not about what anybody else understands, right? It's not even about the other competition, the good competition, if you will, that's out there. It's about fulfilling your dreams, knowing where you are in this season in your life, but bringing your self-worth, your true self-worth forward. And I'm a firm believer that, if you can't do anything else, find your peace, guys. She gave you a ultimate nugget right there, finding your peace with your passion. So Kristy, I want the guests to our viewers and those that will watch later to first of all, we're going to put Kristy's information back out there again into the chat, so that you can be able to reach out to her. Kristy, can people just follow you on your pages? And I know you do a lot of behind the scene consultations, if you will, and I know you do actual true price consultations. But I know sometimes as entrepreneurs in a service provider environment, people tend to give tidbits, like, me as a life coach, there's things I'll say, check out the book about such and such and such and such. You talk about, people going on YouTube and people researching other things. Is there one of your special techniques that you want to share? Don't give the whole thing now, but is there one of your special techniques that you would say to an inspiring baker out there that you've picked up, that you've taught yourself? I think that's unique that you've taught yourself a lot of these techniques. What would you say is one thing that you might want to share with a rising baker, other than peace?
That's a hard one, because it's a lot that I would want to share.
Yes, you are a true giver, and we appreciate you for that.
Just as far as like maybe where they can find resources, or just something they should do in the kitchen. What do you narrow it down for me?
Do something in the kitchen. If they want to do something in the kitchen, what's one little special technique that you would tell them to do, other than preparation?
Mise en place. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's French for everything in its place. Be organized. Mise en place is spelled MISE space EN space place. Mise en place, or place, or however you say it. But it's French for everything in its place. It's used in culinary to mean basically to be organized. I think when you're starting out, that's going to be the best thing for you. When you go into the kitchen, have a plan for that day. Have a plan, have your recipe, make sure you have all your ingredients, all of your necessary tools, and make sure you've researched that one particular recipe. Have everything in its place. And if you're starting out, don't try and do 10 different things at once. Focus on one area that you want to work on. So if you want to learn how to bake cakes, one cake recipe, I recommend vanilla cake maybe, because that's a basic top seller for a lot of bakers. Find that one recipe and work on that. Work on perfecting that. Work on that. If you want to do pies, find one pie, find an apple pie recipe and work on that. Study that. But make sure you have your mise en place, have everything in its place, be organized, be timely, because baking is not something I can just be like, oh, they want a cake at 1 o'clock. I'll start it at about noon. That's not realistic. Cakes take time to bake. They have to cool. You can't put frosting on a hot cake. So be prepared, study and be prepared.
See, I told y'all, she gave y'all like 10 nuggets right there. Be prepared. Timing is key. We both agree. We don't do tardy. It is a major pet peeve in this family. Tardy is not welcomed at all. We stress timing, and that's good, because that's something that somebody, like you just said, somebody might, want to be a baker. They see you in your platform, you baking 10, 15 cakes a week, looks like, and you're kicking it out there, and somebody might think that's easy, but it's not easy. You've already put the study behind it. You perfected some things, you reevaluate some things that you're doing. But to tell somebody to make sure that you meet your timing and make sure you have things organized, guys. And that's, you gave so many nuggets. But the thing, I'm looking at you, and of course, I'm a mother. Don't y'all say nothing ugly, because I have to get you. But I see, I see how far you have grown. So you might be trying to make me cry. I'm not gonna cry tonight. I've seen how far you have taken entrepreneurship and you've grown with it. You've come against some hard knocks in the industry that may have knocked somebody else out the playing field. You know what I mean? You've taken the pandemic and you made it into a, you know, your playing field. You've taken typical designs and you created your own around it. You perfected recipes and you've even created your own recipes, which is unique. And you've done that. And one thing that you said early on, and one thing we want to reemphasize with those that are watching, God's got to be in your plan. God's got to be in your plan. So, you know, I've seen you grow so far with this, and I'm just want to let you know publicly, and I'm not gonna cry because you know I will. I am so proud of what you've done with your business. I am super proud of what you're doing and where you're gonna take it to that next level. We know that 23 is gonna open up even, you know, you haven't even got out of 22 and people are pulling and tugging at you, like you say, for wedding cakes and all kinds of cakes. I mean, y'all, I don't know what she did. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how that's the reason why she's a baker. I'm the coach. But you do it with such finesse. And the thing is, there's no limit to what you won't try. Is there any? I know you probably have gotten some requests and you said, no, I'm not going to do it. But from what you're saying, it's because you haven't tried them. So you're not going to tell a customer, I'm going to do it if I've never tried it, which is unique. But do you ever think that there is any cake that you can't make? I'm gonna say,
Grandpa used to say, what do you say, study to show yourself approved. So it may be something that I don't feel confident in doing that may be beyond my skill set. So there's a lot of cakes and different techniques that I'm seeing now, and I'm just like, oh wow, that's awesome. So I think that's something I would practice. I would never say I wouldn't do it, but it would definitely be something that I would study before offering it, you know, as a service, because as a consumer, I respect you and your business a lot more if you're transparent with me and say, hey, you know, either I don't do that, or you know what, I'll try it. I'll give it to you at a reduced rate because it's like a test for me. But if you're willing to just like take this test, whatever. So with me, you know, I'm honest with people, you know, if it's something I'm still new to, hey, if you don't mind me trying, it might not be at 100%, but I'm not going to charge you the full thing either. Or just being like, I'm not even ready to attempt it, and just being honest and being like, no, because we live in a time where everything is broadcast on social media. And I would dare not be on the shade room. I don't know if you guys have seen what I asked for versus what I got. You're not fixing to do me like that.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good, yeah, right? That's good.
Because there are a lot of times people will ask for things and you know you can't execute it. If I can't braid hair, I'm not going to tell you, baby, I did your box braids. That's just unrealistic. That's an unrealistic expectation. So I try to set the expectation for my customer. So there are some things I'm not 100% at yet, but I'm definitely working on them and trying and tweaking them. And, you know, I let people know, hey, I don't do that yet, but one day, you know, so I keep an open mind to it.
Right. So what is well, first of all, let's go with this. What are your hours of operation? Because I know, you know, like I said, that's my baby right there, y'all. Y'all not gonna be worrying about that child all day. Look, so Kristy, tell the people what your hours are, you know, as far as people reaching out to you. What are your business hours?
So you can reach me Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. And I will get back to you usually if you email me or send in an order form, you get a response within 24 business hours. That's not to say I don't take weekend orders. I do take orders for weekend dates. It's just Saturday and Sunday are usually extremely big. Well, Friday and Saturday and possibly Sundays are extremely busy. So I try and dedicate Saturdays and Sundays to those customers I have on the books. So, but yeah, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6. You can email me at chefkristyscreations@gmail.com. Also reach out through the order form. doing via DM. Those are the same hours for DM. But DM is really just utilized for answering generalized questions as far as price quotes and trying to place an order. I try and kind of direct you to the order form to keep everything mainstream. But yeah, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, no holidays right now.
Look, y'all heard that? 8 to 6, no holidays. Y'all write it down. 8 to 6, no holidays. So,
and usually I will say for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, I do bake for people for the holidays. It's just leading up to those days, it's reduced hours. But yeah, I do bake for your holidays. It's not to say I won't bake for your Christmas.
Well, I'm putting in my order for my birthday, Thanksgiving, and maybe New Year's. I don't know. We'll see.
Lord.
You know, I gotta get my orders in early. And she does charge her mama too. So don't y'all think she don't. This is we're talking real business. And that's one thing I want to talk to you about too, Kristy. I got a couple of people that you know, when I do live, some people don't ask questions directly into the online part. They ask me privately. So I've got one question here that says, will you consider doing a consultation on the weekends because of my schedule? Apparently this individual works past your hours, and so they're not able to actually, you know, because of their job. And you can, the person that put that message in, you can reiterate if you need to, but they want to know, will you take outside of your normal 8 to 6 for a consultation? And do you charge for some consultations? And you don't have to ask what price it is if you do.
If you have a situation where you're not available within that time frame, or emailing, because a lot of times I do email because that way we have a paper trail between us both. So if that doesn't work for you, I will accommodate you. Sundays, I usually don't do consultations on Sundays just because I like to have that dedicated for if I want to go to church. But yeah, definitely, I can accommodate you for Saturdays and things like that. As far as pricing for consultations, weddings, that's something we need to sit down and talk about because that's your special day and I want to make sure you have everything your heart desires. So there is a consultation fee for wedding consults, but you can also schedule to have your cake tasting and we'll do the consultation while you're doing your cake tasting. And if you decide to book with me, the price that you pay for your consultation and cake tasting is put towards your overall cake balance if you do decide to book with me. So yeah, I do wedding consultations. If you're having like a really huge party or get together, I did a really huge anniversary where they had a lot of different things. We can set up consultations for that as well, but usually just, you know, regular birthday cakes or anniversary cakes, everything's pretty much done through email. But if you ever, that's not to say I won't consult with you for something like that. If you ever want additional time to sit down and do face-to-face, we can't do that. We can't set up a time. I just do ask that you try and book that with me. I would say 7 business days in advance, but you can try that. It's just where orders are coming in a lot more heavily now. I would kind of want you to come in, ask me or try to schedule at least 2 weeks in advance just to make sure I can get you in with just so many orders and consultation requests coming in right now.
Right. So the other question that I have in the chat is, do you, and is that a part of your services, will you actually go to an event and do the cutting of the cake? The individual says, I've got an event coming up in 23 for my parents' wedding anniversary, and I don't want anybody to mess up the cake that I buy. So could that be a part of your services?
Yes. So typically a baker does deliver and set up and they leave because they have other deliveries and pickups scheduled. So we really can't dedicate a whole, several hours to that. But if that's just a special request that you have, that's definitely something I'd be willing to do and talk about with you. But just as a FYI, that's typically, your serving staff that you have normally does that. And I do like to give instruction about how tiered cakes are put together a little bit different with some extra stuff in it. Don't ever smash your face into a tiered cake. There's a lot of stuff in there. You can take out an eye, but I usually give very, very detailed instructions on how to take it apart. But yeah, if that's something you wanted, yeah, we could definitely talk about that. That's not a problem.
All right. So we've got another question in the chat, and the
Mhm.
question is, how far will you travel?
I think the furthest I've traveled so far is about an hour and a half, and I have a wedding that's about 2 hours away in October.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I'd say probably about 2 hours is my max right now. Where are we talking? Where are we trying to go?
I don't
No,
know.
no.
Oh, okay. They're upper DC area. Will you consider traveling to DC? Hey.
Now it would depend on the time of year as well, because in this heat right now, baby, we I want your cake to get there in one piece, and we don't want to risk driving it that far. But yeah, depend on the time of year. I've had people ask me, could we do halfway because they live so far out. So we have discussed that. It's still a partial delivery fee for that. But yeah, not really equipped to go to DC just yet.
Well, and
yeah, maybe one day.
okay. So that's so would you say, and we're going to go back to the pandemic a little bit. So would you say that the pandemic kind of also, even though you were all you picked up business as far as you planning how to do your business in the pandemic, but would you say how bakers truly deliver and process orders during the pandemic kind of change, like versus people versus you delivering it? Did it change why more people were picking it up from you, or did you find it easier more to deliver? What was your gist on it with pandemic, and was it something that was a concern for you?
About the same for me because of the way I do mine. I know a lot of people have done away with their mask as a precaution for my clients and myself. I always wear a mask when I'm delivering. Most of the time, my clients meet me at the door. I do have a few with health issues and things like that I bring in and sit down for them. But for the most part, clients meet me at the door. I have on a mask. They get, when I deliver it and we hand off. As far as my pickups go, no one comes into where I bake. I pretty much ask that everyone, just let me know when you're coming and I'll bring it out to you. That way you don't have to get out of your air conditioned car. I have, again, have my mask on, clean hands, boxed up, and I'll bring it to you. So it has pretty much stayed the same for me. I've not seen an increase in deliveries versus pickups. It's pretty much stayed the same. Now, I did have a lot of, my hometown is Martinsville. So I did have a lot of Martinsville orders when I first started. So those were a lot of deliveries. I still go to that area. But yeah, it's about the same for me. And I still practice. Like I said, that's one thing too. If you want to be not just a baker, but in the food industry in general, I encourage you to take a serve safe course with sanitation, with proper refrigeration, storage, cleaning. Good. It's not just, if you're getting food from someone, it shouldn't just be washing of the hands. I go all the way up my own, like you really need to get in your nails and different things like. So I do encourage you, if that's something you want to get into and pursue, really looking to get into Serve Safe certification so you're aware. So there's so many different things out here as far as sanitation, and just you can get botulism and different things that could really kill you if the person you're ordering from is not well versed in sanitation, because cooking in your home for your family is totally different from cooking for somebody in the outside world. So I say that to say I've maintained the same sanitation with COVID, with the people, with it dying down. I've done the same thing consistently. So if you come and pick up from me, I'm gonna have a mask on. If I deliver to you, I will have a mask on. And if I'm in the cart, it's sanitizer. It's before I get the box out to give it to you, it's sanitizer when I get back in my car. So, so yeah, it's been about the same for me.
Well, that's good.
And I'm a germaphobe, so.
Y'all, she ain't playing. She likes it all clean. Good evening, Shafika. Good evening, the mentors coach, Coach Tina Bailey out there. Tina Whitaker Bailey, my coach, is out there. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. I know your tasty treats, taste buds are really wearing up right now. So, Kristy, let me one of the other questions that is in the chat is this: how far in advance, if outside of your typical, I want a birthday cake, but what is a typical time frame that you prefer orders to come in? Like if you're doing an event versus just a pickup, what's the time frame that people should contact you?
An event, and this going to be a big shindig or whatever the case may be. As soon as you know about it and you know you want services, I would reach out. So if that's a month or more in advance, that would be awesome because I can get you on the calendar. Really, with bigger events, yeah, a month or more in advance would be great.
Okay.
Regular orders, like I said, I used to say, place an order 7 business days in advance. Like I said, it's starting to pick up so much that I'm recommending that just with regular orders, at least 2 weeks in advance, because after a certain point, it's considered a rush order.
Right.
So yeah, big, huge events, month in advance. Like I said, I have a wedding in October, and I think they booked it with me several months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was booked well in advance, over 4 months ago. Like it's been booked, which is great because I've had people coming in trying to get that same date, and theirs is already squared away. So I've had people ask me, "Hey, I'm not planning anything till December. Do I have to wait?" And I'm like, no. As soon as if you know in January that you want me in November, go ahead and book me in January to get you on the calendar. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It does, because most of the time people, they if look, y'all, I'm a birthday person. Ask my daughter, I'm a birthday person. My birthday's in October. I'm not gonna wait till October 26th to put in an order for a cake. Okay, I'm just saying. Use your common sense.
You have the event coming up. Yeah.
Use your common sense. Use good customer service skills on both sides, because she's gonna give you the ultimate customer service. We want you to give her the same respect when you're placing your orders. So another question we've got, Kristy, and people are asking, they know you can't get prices tonight. We get that, guys. Thank you so much for honoring that. I got a couple of people said tell her don't give out her price. I got one person in the chat says, don't give out your prices, Kristy, because your cakes are so good, you might need to go up again. So don't tell the people how much it costs. Do you require a deposit for all of your services, correct?
It works. Terms and conditions have been updated now. So if you're placing an order for a cake that's $100 or less, when you place the order, your full balance will be due up front to get you on the books. If you're placing an order that's over $100, you will have a deposit of half that's due up front, and then your remaining balance is going to depend on the order size. Right. So it's typically going to be 7 business days in advance if you have to pay that remaining balance. But if you have like a huge wedding order, those are due at least 1 month prior to the service date. So yeah, if your order is 100 or less, it's due in full up front. And the order is over that amount, half for deposit and half either 7 business days before or up to a month before, depending on the size.
Right. So I got a joke. I got a joke in the chat. They said, okay, I know you said that you have to pay for your cakes too, Victoria, but does she have any family plans? The devil is a lie. I'm sorry.
Look, because even when I try to give my close family discounts, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know a lot of people say they get into business and family and friends don't support. I don't have that problem. My family and friends always support. They always pay what I ask, if not more. My cousin Tammy, hey Tammy. Tammy will literally pay me double what I asked her for, because I can't just say, oh, it's whatever. You did such and such for me, so here, take the cake. No, right. Give me a price. And if I say $10, she's gonna pay me $20. But that's not the price I give her, by the way. That's just me throwing out a number. But yeah, so even if I tried to give them a discount, they respect what I do. They see how much time it takes me to do what I do. And in that, they respect my craft and they honor my craft by paying me what I'm worth, which is, like I said, sometimes more than what I even ask for, which I'm grateful for. So they don't ask for discounts. Okay. They get on me for not asking for enough.
Yes, and as an entrepreneur mom, don't be asking for no discount. If you want that cake bad enough, if you didn't pay her, you were gonna pay somebody else. So if you sought her out and you purchased a cake before, and some of you have actually been a part of some events that I've had where she's created the cakes and designs, you already know you're getting a treat. You're getting a treat. let's think about it this way. If it was you, we all give little discounts. We all get, little, specialties. I'm not gonna say, let's not call them discounts anymore, people. Let's call them specialty event tickets, right? Because sometimes I have special events, Kristy, and I'll throw a couple of tickets out there, or either I'll give, the first 10 people, I'll give them, a half price ticket. But the thing about, being in business, and that's, something we're going to touch on real quickly, being in business, you have to look at all the aspects of business. Business just doesn't start with you just having a whole lot of cake products sitting around, and you just go, oh, I'm just going to dish out some flour and some sugar and butter, and I'm going to put it together in a few minutes. You actually have to go down, and when a person places an order, you sit down and you calculate every piece of that, the ingredients that goes into it, because you do everything freshly made, homemade. So you go through that aspect of that. And sometimes people don't look at that as, as you getting a great product. Sometimes people want something, inexpensive, but they're not understanding that what you do is a craft. What you're doing is a passion. What you're doing is something that is going to empower somebody's day. So you don't take that for granted, as a part of one of the things that we're going to be talking about on August the 20th with customer service, is that you don't, as a provider of a service, you take in consideration how your customer is going to react once they bite into that cake. So sometimes people want us to go to the cheaper route or give us a discount, but they don't understand what you went through to make that slice of cake taste as moist as it does and gives that flavor that it does. And I commend you, excuse me, I commend you on sticking by your standards, because you got a lot of people out there that say they're doing baking cakes from scratch or cooking something from scratch, and you find out later it's Duncan Hines. Nothing against Duncan, because for years Duncan was my friend. But if you're saying that you're getting a service, if you're getting a true service provider who's giving you good service, make sure that you go ahead and pat them on the back for their service, because they're doing a service to you that's going to make you feel good. So Kristy, let me ask you this: what do you see in your future? What is one of your dreams that you want to take Kristy's on another level?
It's my heart desire. If you don't know, I'm a home baker, and I would desire to have a standalone location, an actual baking location. So I'm very grateful for all the orders that come in, but it's getting to the point where my cup is running over. There's been, so I would love to have a bakery in the future, a spot, because I do have people, hey, can I just buy one cupcake? And unfortunately, I don't have a bake case where it's just a bunch of different flavors just sitting out for you to come in and choose one. I make everything to order. So that's my heart's desire is to have an actual bakery, and not just to have a bakery, to have a business that I can pass down the line to my children, my nephews, my family that's coming after me. So we have something generational in the family. People talk a lot about generational curses. Let's start some generational wealth and generational businesses. So my goal is to have something that will live on past when I'm here. Something if I can lock down some of these things, hone in on my skills. That's why I study what I do so much. What you were saying with the ingredients, it would be so easy for me to go out here and get some cheap stuff, but it's not going to taste the same. It's not going to do the same thing I need it to do. So a lot of times what you're paying for too is my knowledge, to sit down and to calculate the cost. That's a class called purchasing that I took. Okay, ASEC class, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of spreadsheets. So you may see the cakes and the baking, but it's a lot that goes behind the scenes. There's a lot of spreadsheets and calculating and studying and doing a lot of content creation and making flyers, and it's a lot more to it. And when you're doing it by yourself, it's a lot of work. Like even when you're trying to sleep, you're literally up some nights just thinking of what you can do to make things better. So if I can do this work now and have it to where I'm able to, someday sit at home and have somebody else run my business and it's still making money for me and for my family, that's the ultimate goal, is to have something that will sustain past me being here. Because it's not just about me. It's about the joy I bring into other people's home on those special events. It's for the children I have not had yet, that I want to have, that I want them to have something that they can be proud of that, even if they don't want to, be a baker or whatever, they can start off just getting that business knowledge so that they're able to go out and be an entrepreneur and work for themselves if they want to do that. So yeah, that's what I want.
Y'all better listen to this keynote speaker on serving on these cakes and takes. Look, it's not just about a cake business. It's about a profession. It's about being creative. It's about understanding your true value of what you're worth. And like you say, people are paying you not only for the cake that you bake, but they're paying for your knowledge. They're paying for your wisdom of what you've done to get to this point. You just didn't wake up one day and decide you wanted to, but you woke up and you said, I'm gonna put a little more effort into it. I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna figure out what it's like to bake this cake and what is it gonna take for it to taste just right. I've seen you actually, I've actually seen this kid bake a cake to the maximum. I mean, we looking at it going, oh, that looks so good. And she'll cut into it and she'll say, something don't taste right. And she will literally take a whole cake that she's done worked on for 2 hours, design all, and trash it and start all over again. That's wisdom, that's knowledge, and that's customer service. You can't beat that. So it's worth the extra mile to go by, reach out to Kristy's and let her design that next cake. Let her get all of your tasty treats for your next event. So Kristy, I got a question in the chat and we're getting down to the wire of the interview. Kristy, have you thought about doing anything with teaching? And this is new, baby girl, your audience is asking questions. With teaching some techniques in the cake baking business.
That's something very recently that I've been thinking about, because I do get a lot of inbox questions about what attachment did you use to do that on your KitchenAid, or how did you achieve that? So I have thought about it recently, and even about a month or so ago, I had so many people asking me for certain recipes. Now, y'all, I'm not giving out their red velvet recipe. That's just a disclaimer. That's got blood, sweat, and tears. That's one I ain't giving out yet. Because I mean,
give it away.
That's my heart, because I've got it down to a science. But I even started thinking about, well, maybe I can write an e-cookbook that I can share with people. But yeah, that is something I have thought about. And again, with researching and studying, I'm learning that that's something that some bakers are doing now with social media. Could definitely do a live or something like that. So yeah, that is something I'm definitely thinking about doing. Because there are a lot of kids that want to learn how to bake. My nephews love getting in the kitchen with me.
Yeah.
So they'll pull up a stool and get beside me. So it's a lot of kids that are interested in baking. I've had, like I said, a lot of adults that I'm friends with on social media reach out. So yeah, it's something I'm definitely thinking about doing. Definitely.
Awesome. So Kristy, tell the folks again. I know you on Facebook. We know you on YouTube, right? You YouTubing. Okay, she's gonna be
YouTube.
Gonna be YouTubing, y'all. Look, so yeah. Facebook, and you do Instagram, and you are a TikTok, tickety-tock. Y'all can find her on those 3 pieces of social media. I know, and then she said she's branching out in some other things. So y'all get ready. Kristy, I am so super proud of the phenomenal work that you do. If I haven't told you lately, I get inspired. You inspire me by watching you keep on doing what you're doing with your business. It's something about sticking your nails into the ground and just digging in and pulling out the best that you can be. And you have been doing this for quite some time. A lot of people don't know the whole background, because a lot of people, Chris, a lot of people say your kids don't never say nothing. My kids are very private. All 3 of my daughters are entrepreneurs. They all have businesses of some kind, that they do. But they're my children are very private. They are, their mama do enough for them. The mama do enough talking for them. So, but they have their own businesses, and you're going to be seeing more coming from Kristy. We're going to bring her back. So Kristy, you know, I'm sure there are investors watching the Uncensored Conversation show. I'm telling you right now, if you want to invest in a business that is not only tasty, that is not also built, she's built on integrity and character. She's built on the foundation of God, putting God first in her life, in her business. But she gives her heart. If you're an investor out there today and you have a desire to invest in a business, she's looking for her own facility. She's looking for a place where she can house all of these ideas and be able to offer to the public. If you're an investor and you want to invest in her business, reach out to her, inbox her, befriend her. I'm telling you, it's one of the best investments you can make. I'm telling you, don't take it from the mama, take it from her other clients. Kristy, I am so super proud of you. You're just amazing. She's my firstborn. I couldn't ask for a better daughter. She is, she's always, her heart is with the people. She likes to take care of other people. And we're proud. I'm proud. I'm super proud. I'm not going to cry. I promise you I'm not. I am so super proud of all of the things that you're doing. I can't wait for the ebook. I can't wait for the classes that you're going to be teaching. I can't wait for your new, whatever next project that you're going to bring out there. Is there anything that you're going to, this is a yes or no. Is there anything special that you're working on as in your what do you call it? In your kitchen, and your kitchen in your mind that you're going to pop out with for the holidays? You have any specialties that you're going to be kicking out? Because I know you're always working on some stuff. You can just say yes or no. That way people can look for you.
Yeah, because you know, Christmas, you guys really be wanting some stuff. So yeah. I'm gonna try and have some packages and different things to offer you guys. And I've had some ideas brewing, and family and friends love sending me all the stuff, ideas they see cake related, and I got some ideas in my dome, in my brain. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted. And thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate all the love and support and encouragement, because there's stuff that people don't see behind the scenes. You see the cakes and the beautifulness of it all. You don't see sometimes the struggle that goes into it, and needing to hear from your mother, like, it ain't that bad. Why are you tripping? Like, so you guys don't see the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and the encouragement that she gives. And so I appreciate that, because it's definitely needed. We're all human at the end of the day. We all talk good game to everybody else, but it's sometimes hard to look in the mirror and talk that same game to yourself. So I appreciate you as well. I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you, all of you guys that have been watching and asking questions. I hope I answered them to the best of my ability. But I appreciate you all for all the love and support, because I never in a million years would have thought I'd be working for myself or having people reach out at midnight. Please don't do that. Reach out at midnight, 2 in the morning, asking me for cakes. And I just appreciate you guys so much.
If you could say one thing to our viewers today, I know you talked about getting your peace and sticking with it, but if you could say one thing to anybody out there that's struggling with even thinking about going into business, what would it be?
You lose. I mean, okay. I say do it. What could you lose? Because I think a lot of times we live in a society that's like, how much coin can I have? How much paper can I have? And yes, money is important. I'm not saying that it isn't. But a lot of times we're so focused on that, we lose sight in what gives us peace. If you were to win that $1 billion and die tomorrow, you can't take any of that with you. So I would say to you, what makes you happy? What drives you to get up in the morning?
That's it.
What makes not what somebody else wants you to do, but what do you want to do? And when you figure that out, pray about it, because what God tells me to do with my business may be different from what He tells you to do.
Very good.
But yeah, pray about it, and if you still feel it heavily in your heart and you feel like God is calling you to do it, then do it. So yeah, money is fleeting. The love of it is just, money ain't everything. And I will say it's the sacrifice to be. I mean, if you're able to save up and start a business and have that financial grounded, that's the best thing to do. But if you just really feel led that this is what you want to do, and you're like, God, I don't know, and you pray about it, and God's telling you yes, and like, but God, how am I do that? I mean, because the math ain't math. I don't be obedient because He'll make a way. He'll make a way because there's a lot of times starting out, I got to do this, but I don't have enough money for this, and an order will come in, or something would. He always makes a way, and I'm saying that to myself now. That building is coming because God sees that I need my gift, He'll make room for your gift. So that's it. Pray about it. Now, if you just started doing, you got it today and started strumming on a guitar, like you just did it today, like need for you to pray about that. Don't just stop what you're doing, but yeah, pray about it. And it's your life. You're the only person that can live that life. You're the only person you're tied to for the rest of your life. Nobody else you have to be with for the rest of your life other than yourself. So be happy and content with whatever decisions you make for your life and your career choices.
See, y'all see why I'm proud of my baby. And look, okay, she's gonna get me when I say this. And she's a single woman, y'all. Look, see, I got her. Yay!
Good night, y'all. Good night, y'all.
She is a motivated, super achiever, entrepreneur. She's a godly woman. I mean, just a lot I could say about her because she's my baby, right? So at the end of the day, guys, we have been so honored to have with us tonight my guest, my wonderful oldest daughter, Kristy Redd, here from Kristy's. She's the baking queen of North Carolina and Virginia and surrounding areas on top of that. She is going to be a global baker. Y'all just watch and see what I tell you. Now, I'm telling you. Kristy, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I promise I'm going to bring you back on the show again to get people an update in the next in our next season. And so to say to all of you that have been watching tonight, Lisa Dove Washington, my girl is back. And Lisa, that was perfect timing. Listen, Lisa, I'm going to be taking my season break in the next couple of weeks. So I'm glad to see Lisa's coming back on the platform because, guys, if you ain't got nothing to do on Thursday night, my girl, Lisa Dove Washington with Luncheon with Lisa is coming back on Thursday night. Y'all don't want to miss it. So, guys, let me tell you this. We got a lot of things that's coming with Uncensored Conversation in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be interviewing the phenomenal Coach K. Clark. She's got a good secret that we're going to have the exclusive interview with her, and that's coming up on August the 21st. You don't want to miss that exclusive interview. It's going to be something phenomenal. We got some other folks that are coming. We got the Faulkners, Khadijah Faulkner and her amazing husband, Dr. Robert Faulkner, will be coming back in August to do the part 2 of what it's like to have a spiritual relationship and in the 2022 lifestyle. And we're going to be bringing them back. They're going to give us tidbits on being married, saved, and all of that good stuff. We're also going to be interviewing two pastors in a couple of weeks. We're going to be interviewing 2 pastors that's going to be talking about what has happened since COVID in ministry. We're going to be talking to a couple of beautiful, amazing pastors in the area of here in North Carolina. We're going to be talking to them about what it's like in COVID and dealing with all of that and what's happening afterwards. I can tell you there's a lot of things that's getting ready to happen with Uncensored, with Victoria Elevates. You don't want to miss it. We got a big announcement we're going to be giving out concerning something that we've signed paperwork on this last few weeks. It's absolutely amazing. You don't know, it might be on Lisa. We might have to give that exclusive interview to Lisa Washington so she can get all the scoop behind the scenes. I'm telling you guys, I'm super excited to have had this young lady with us tonight. Kristy, we're going to put all of your information out there. If you haven't, excuse me, I tell y'all, it's because it's hot. I'm telling you, if you haven't placed your order for one of these tasty treats, you better go out there and get it done today because I'm telling you, she's getting booked up. Man, I might have to get a job working for her just as a delivery person. I don't know, because she be busy, boy. She be rolling them out. But Kristy, thank you again for being with us. We will put some of your pictures out there. We will also be sharing your beautiful website, your link with everybody after we come off the show tonight. We will be having you on our YouTube channel. So if you guys missed any portions of the night's interview, go to Victoria Elevates YouTube channel. You can catch the whole entire interview. Kristy, thank you again for being with us. I know we got to get you in the bed because you're going to be up at 3 a.m. stirring some sugar, flour, and all that stuff together for one of those tasty treats that you got this week. And we are, again, honored to have you with us on the show tonight. Guys, bon appetit until we meet you again on Uncensored Conversation with Elevated and Not Tolerated. And we'll see you real soon. Thanks, Kristy. Stay with me for just a little bit.